My fiancée confessed that she wanted to spend one last night with her ex to close the chapter. I told her to take all the time she needed, then called her father. His reaction when he showed up at that apartment was priceless. That I'm still processing what happened last week. I'm 28 and until then I'd been with Clara, 26, for 3 years. We'd been engaged for 6 months with the wedding planned for next spring, or so I thought until last Tuesday that we were having dinner at home. 4 days I'd noticed she was acting strange, distant, glued to her phone, texting nonstop. Then she dropped it. Andres, I need to tell you something. I put down my fork. That tone never means good news. Pablo wrote to me last week, she continued. Her ex, the wannabe musician who treated her terribly for 2 years before she finally left him. My stomach dropped. We've just been catching up, she added, taking a deep breath. But I realized I never got proper closure with him. Things ended so abruptly, and there are still unresolved feelings. I repeated those words like an idiot, unresolved feelings, while my brain tried to process. I'm not talking about love, she said, grabbing my hand. I love you. I want to marry you, but I need to close that chapter before we start our life together. And how exactly do you close that chapter? I asked. She pulled her hand back, staring at her plate. I need to see him one more time. Spend time with him, talk. Just one night to get him out of my system. To know for sure that you're the one I choose. The silence was deafening. Finally I spoke. You're asking for permission to sleep with your ex. That's not it, she replied calmly. It's about closing a phase, understanding why it didn't work, confirming that what we have is real. Right, by sleeping with him, I said, dripping with sarcasm. You're making it sound crude. It's not like that. It's emotional closure. The physical part is just part of the process. I stared at her, incredulous. 3 years together, a ring on her finger, the wedding planned, and there she was, sitting across from me, dead serious, asking to spend the night with her ex to close chapters. You know what, Clara? I said. Take all the closure you need. Her face lit up. Really? You understand? Of course. Go ahead. She jumped on me, showering me with kisses. You're amazing. So mature. This is why I love you. It's just one night and then we'll be stronger than ever. When were you planning this closure session? I asked. Saturday? He has a show on Friday, so it's perfect. Great. Send me the address. She blinked. Why? Just want to know where you'll be. For safety. More kisses. More compliments. You're the best, so understanding. Then she practically skipped to bed. I waited until she was asleep and checked her phone. Yes, I know, but after what she asked, privacy went out the window. I found Pablo's address in their chat. Lots of "can't wait to see you" and heart emojis. Very classy. Then I did something that might make me look like a jerk, but I don't regret it. I called her father. Hector's a tough guy. A Marine, owns a construction company, still does CrossFit at 58. Old school to the core, and thinks his daughter is perfect. We get along great. He already calls me son, and talks about teaching our future kids to fish. Andres, it's late. Everything okay? He answered. Hey Hector. Sorry for calling so late. Just a quick question. Clara said she's helping her friend Valeria move on Saturday. Did she mention anything to you? Boss. She told her mom she was going to a spa with friends. Oh, my mistake, I said. What's going on, Andres? I sighed. I don't want to overstep, but she's planning to go to Pablo's place on Saturday. Dead silence. Then, Pablo, her ex? He didn't finish, but I knew he remembered how Pablo cheated on Clara multiple times and how Hector wanted to break his face when they split. She says she needs closure, I said. Closure? His voice was ice cold. Just thought you should know. She's an adult, her choices. Want the address? I gave it to him. We hung up without another word. Saturday came. Clara spent 2 hours getting ready. I found tags for new lingerie in the trash. Freshly done nails. She kissed me like she was heading to the office. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks for being so understanding. Take your time. Get all the closure you need. She left at 6 p.m. At 6:45, Hector texted me. I'm here. At 7:23 my phone blew up. Calls from Clara. I didn't answer. Texts flooded in. What did you do? My dad's here. Answer me. At 8:15 Hector called. She's in my truck. We're going to have a talk about honesty and respect. She okay? Perfectly. Just embarrassed. Pablo nearly wet himself when I showed up and he answered the door in his underwear, candles all over the place. He laughed. Closure? Sure. What now? I asked. Now I take her home and we'll have a family talk about values. Start packing her stuff. I already had. Update. When Hector dropped Clara off on Saturday, she walked in and found her things boxed up by the door. She lost it. You humiliated me. You called my dad. What are you, 12? You asked to sleep with your ex, I said. I said go ahead. I understood perfectly. That's why your stuff's there. This is insane. It was just one night to confirm my feelings for you. How thoughtful. Your bags are by the door. You're kicking me out for being honest? Honest would have been saying you wanted to end things, not asking to sleep with your ex before our wedding. She tried everything, tears, anger, seduction. Nothing worked. She eventually called an Uber and went to her parents' place. Sunday brought reinforcements. Her best friend Valeria showed up at my door. You need to hear her out. I did. She wants to sleep with Pablo. Message received. It's not like that. She has unresolved trauma. This was therapy. Therapy happens in an office, not your ex's bed. That's what I thought when I first heard her ridiculous proposal. She kept saying I was being unreasonable, that I should understand her. Unreasonable? She'd already chosen me, she said. Right after choosing him for a night. Lucky me, huh? God, how can someone have so much nerve? I said. It's just sex, she threw out as if that fixed everything. Perfect, I replied. Then it's just singlehood. On Monday her mom Linda showed up with a new tactic, tears and manipulation. Andres, honey, she's devastated. Hasn't eaten since Saturday, she said, voice trembling. I'm sorry she's struggling. She made a mistake, I said. She was confused, Linda insisted. A very specific confusion, complete with new lingerie. I shot back. Linda's face flushed. She told me. It was to feel confident, not for him. Right, closure lingerie. You're asking me not to throw away 3 years over a silly mistake. The mistake was her asking permission to cheat. It's not cheating if you agree, Linda said. She can do what she wants as a single woman. The wedding was 6 months away. Deposits were paid. What will people say? Linda finally blurted, revealing the real issue. That's Clara's problem, not mine. Tuesday brought another surprise. Pablo, the closure himself, showed up at my workplace. Not a lawyer but acting like a mediator. Security called me down. There he was, graphic tee, skinny jeans, guitar pick necklace, almost 30 and dressed like it's 2008. Bro, we need to talk, he said. No thanks. Look, I didn't know she was engaged. Your problem, I said, laughing. She said you guys had issues, that you were controlling. So controlling I let her do whatever she wanted, I replied. You lit candles for another man's fiancée. That's homewrecker behavior. She said you were cool with it. And I am. She's all yours. His face changed. What? No, I don't want anything serious. Should have thought of that before offering closure dates. Security escorted him out when he started yelling that I'd ruined his life. Apparently, Clara had been blowing up his phone all weekend, and he just wanted his quiet life back. But the best came today. Clara showed up with backup. Her parents, Hector and Linda, and her brother Todd, 24. Intervention mode activated. Hector looked uncomfortable, Linda ready to fight, Todd just confused. Clara had coached them. We're here to help you work through this misunderstanding, Linda started. No misunderstanding. Clara wanted to sleep with her ex. I said okay, now she's single. Simple. But she didn't do anything, Todd interjected. Because I found out, not because she changed her mind, I replied. That's not fair, Clara cried. I just wanted to talk to Pablo. In lingerie? I asked calmly. I just wanted to feel good about myself. Mission accomplished. You felt so good you destroyed our relationship. This is crazy. It was one night that didn't even happen. You planned it all, lied to your parents, bought special clothes, went to his apartment. It didn't happen because your dad showed up. Because I called him like a kid, you say? You acted like one, she shouted. Then Hector spoke up. Clara, enough. He's made his decision. Dad, you're supposed to be on my side. I am. That's why I'm telling you to stop humiliating yourself. Linda glared at him. How can you say that? She's your daughter. A daughter who asked her fiancé for permission to cheat. He said no. It's over. I stepped in. The wedding's off. I'll handle my vendors. Clara handles hers. You're really doing this? Clara asked, voice breaking. I didn't ask for a farewell tour with your ex. They left amid shouts and tears. Hector shook my hand as he went. Todd mumbled it was harsh. Linda swore it wasn't over. The best came after. Clara flooded my phone with texts. I'll do therapy. We can go to counseling. I'll never talk to Pablo again. It was a moment of weakness. You're the love of my life. Don't ruin this, and my favorite, it's not fair. I didn't do anything. You're punishing me for being honest. Her sense of entitlement is unreal. She thinks she deserves credit for telling me she wanted to cheat instead of doing it behind my back. Tomorrow, I start calling vendors to cancel everything. I've already changed my status to single. The apartment's in my name, so that's settled. I'm still processing that she genuinely thought I'd be okay with her having a last night with her ex before our wedding. As if it's logical. As if I should thank her for her honesty. She got the closure she wanted, just not how she pictured it. Final update, this is the last I'll say about this. I need to move on. But you deserve to know how this mess ended. While handling cancellations, I found something curious. Clara had been coordinating with the wedding photographer for a boudoir shoot, supposedly a gift for me. The email came to me by mistake when I contacted him to cancel. The kicker? She asked if the photos could be anonymous enough to share with someone special without being recognized. Yeah, that wedding gift was for Pablo. Classy, right? The family drama continued. Linda started a social media campaign, not naming me but posting about forgiveness, not throwing away love over small mistakes, and how modern relationships require understanding. Clara's friends piled on with "You're amazing, Queen," and "He doesn't deserve you, Angel." Until Hector stepped in and commented, "Our daughter asked her fiancé for permission to cheat. He gave it by ending the relationship. Stop embarrassing the family." That sparked a comment war. Hours later, Linda quietly deleted everything. But Clara didn't stop. She took it to another level. A couple of days later, she and Valeria showed up at my gym, dressed like they just stepped out of a photo shoot, perfect makeup, new workout clothes. They set up on the machines closest to me, talking loudly enough for everyone to hear about how some men can't handle mature relationships, and jealousy is so toxic. I finished my set and moved to another area. They followed. The gym staff started noticing. Valeria raised her voice. It's sad when men feel threatened by women embracing their free sexuality. I couldn't hold back. Loudly I said, "Quick poll, who thinks it's okay to ask your fiancé for permission to sleep with your ex before the wedding?" Dead silence. A guy on the bench sat up to stare. Clara turned red. "That's not what," she started. "Anyone? No one thinks that's normal? Weird." They left immediately. The gym manager fist bumped me. 2 days later, my mom, who lives across the country, called. Somehow Clara had gotten her number. Son, I just had an interesting talk with your ex-fiancée. God, what now? She wanted me to make you see reason. Says you're having a masculinity crisis and ruining the love of your life. I told her Clara asked to sleep with her ex. She says you misunderstood. It was for therapeutic closure. Therapeutic closure in her ex's bed? Exactly, my mom said. Any woman who asks my son for permission to cheat can find closure at the bottom of a lake. Gotta love her. The best came the next weekend. I was at a bar with friends when Pablo walked in, with Clara. They were clearly on a date, her hanging on to him, laughing like everything he said was gold. My friend Sergio spotted them first. Dude, there they are. They hadn't noticed me. When Pablo went to the bathroom, Clara saw me. Her face was a show, shock, guilt, then defiance. She walked over. Andres, what a surprise. How are you? Great. Looks like you got your closure. This isn't, we're just talking. In that dress? Sure. I'm single now thanks to you. I can do what I want. Absolutely. Enjoy. This could have been avoided if I'd let you cheat with permission and waited at home? That's exactly what you asked for. Pablo came back and tried to pull her away, but she kept going. You ruined our future for nothing. For nothing? You asked to sleep with the guy you're now on a date with. Seems like something. The bar went quiet. People love free drama. It was just one night to close a chapter, she said. How's that closure going? You seem pretty open to more. Pablo, let's go. Oh, now you're all in. Cute. Hey Pablo, did she tell you she bought lingerie for her closure session while wearing my engagement ring? Pablo went pale. What engagement ring? She hadn't told him we were engaged, just that we had issues. The one I gave her 6 months ago when I proposed. Before she decided she needed your body for therapeutic purposes. He looked at her with disgust. You said you'd been done for months. We were going through a rough patch. We had no issues until you invented one. Pablo walked out. Clara stayed, crying, yelling at me. Look what you did. You ruined everything. I didn't ask to sleep with your ex. And you didn't even do it because your dad showed up, not because you changed your mind. You're so vindictive. I hope you die alone. I'd rather die alone than live with someone who needs to test drive other men to close chapters. She threw her drink at me and security escorted her out. I blocked her number, deleted everything and told mutual friends I'm done. Hector sent me one last message. I'm sorry you went through this. You're a good man. She wasn't raised to act like this. I thanked him. It took time, but I stopped thinking about her. At first, it was hard to believe someone you planned to marry could have the audacity to sit across from you and ask for something like that. But she did. And I don't regret my decision. Today I'm at peace. I'm focusing on myself, picking up projects I'd shelved for the wedding, and spending time with people who understand loyalty. I don't need revenge or to prove anything. Her own actions left her alone. As for me, I'm moving forward, stronger, calmer, and certain that dodging her was the best thing that could have happened. Life goes on, and mine's on a much better path without someone who confuses love with permission to cheat.